So, when that Nobel Prize went to Demis Hassabis
Yeah.
for AlphaFold,
Hmm.
like everyone, I was impressed. AI figuring out protein structures.
Right.
But then I started, thinking about it more.
Yeah.
And it's like, whoa, this is so much bigger than just biology.
Definitely.
AI is like about to change everything in science, like everything.
Yeah, it's pretty mind-blowing.
So that's our deep dive today.
That's what we're looking at.
This article about Hassabis and where he sees things going.
Okay, cool.
Okay, so, one of the big things in this article is this idea of digital biology.
Yeah, digital biology. It's like this, it's the idea that biology is at its heart like a system processing information,
Okay.
and AI could be the thing that like decodes it.
So, wait, instead of just like watching what happens in a cell,
Right.
we're talking about like understanding the actual code of life.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, so how do we start cracking that code?
I mean, one of the biggest challenges is just how unbelievably complicated biological systems are. Like, think about one single cell. Thousands of proteins, signals going back and forth, genes turning on and off.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's just wild. But AI, with its ability to analyze just insane amounts of data and find the patterns we'd miss, it might be like the only way to make sense of it all.
Okay, and we're already seeing that potential, right, with Isomorphic Labs.
Absolutely.
Using AI to come up with new drugs.
Yeah.
The article even said, like, it could take drug development from years down to weeks.
Right.
How is that even possible?
Well, I mean, traditional drug discovery is basically a ton of trial and error. Synthesize a compound, test it, change it up over and over. Takes forever and costs a fortune. But what AI can do is look at massive databases of molecules, all the biological data, and find good drug candidates way faster. Sometimes it can even tell you how well they'll work before you even test them in a lab.
That's wild. And then Hassabis, he's even talking about, like, simulating whole cells, right?
He is, yeah.
Virtually, on a computer.
Yeah.
What would we even learn from that?
Imagine, like, building a virtual model of a cell and seeing how different drugs interact with it. You could run thousands of experiments in the computer before you even touch a real cell.
Wow.
It would totally change how we understand diseases and come up with treatments.
So this is way beyond just biology, right?
Oh, absolutely.
The article talked about medicine, fusion, like making new materials, climate science, even math. It seems like there's no part of science where AI can't make a difference. What makes these fields like ready for this AI revolution?
Well, they all have these crazy complex systems.
Right.
And huge amounts of data. Take medicine, for example. We're already using AI to look at medical images, X-rays, MRIs, stuff like that. Yeah. And it can spot diseases earlier and more accurately than humans can. In climate science, it's helping to make those weather prediction models better by crunching all the atmospheric data, so we get better forecasts.
So it's all about the data.
Yeah.
But how does AI actually understand all that data? I mean, it's not like it just magically knows what to do with it.
Right, right. A lot of these breakthroughs are because of these classical learning algorithms.
Okay.
And there's like a few main types.
Okay.
So you've got supervised learning, where you give the AI labeled data, data with the answers already there, and it learns to make predictions from that.
Okay.
Then there's unsupervised learning, where you just give it data, no labels, and it has to find patterns on its own.
Wow.
And then there's reinforcement learning, where the AI learns by like trial and error to get better at something, like winning a game or something.
Okay.
And each of these like has its strengths and its uses.
Okay.
Like different tools for different jobs.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And Hassabis, he's saying, with enough data, these classical algorithms could potentially model like any pattern in nature.
She's a bullet guy.
That's a huge claim.
It is.
But how do we know which problems like AI can actually solve?
Well, the article, it gives us these 3 key things to look for.
Okay.
First, you need what's called a combinatorial search space.
Combinatorial search space?
Yeah.
What is that?
So imagine you're trying to find the absolute best way to get through a city.
Okay.
With like thousands of streets and intersections.
Right.
The number of possible routes, it's just astronomical.
Yeah.
That's what a combinatorial search space is.
Okay.
And that's where AI shines, exploring all those possibilities super fast.
So like finding the best chess move, or like we said, the most stable protein structure.
Exactly.
Those are both combinatorial search problems.
Yep. Okay, so the second thing you need is a clear objective function.
Objective function.
It's basically, what's the AI trying to do? What's its goal?
Right.
In that city traffic example, the objective function could be to get everyone where they're going as fast as possible.
Got it.
Or maybe to have the least amount of traffic jams.
Okay, makes sense.
And then the last thing you need
Yeah.
is data. Tons of it.
Of course, AI loves data.
It does. It needs that data to learn, to see the patterns, to figure out how to do what it's supposed to do.
Right, so if I wanted AI to help me invent a new material, like with certain properties, I'd need to tell it what makes a material good.
Right, that's your objective.
Right, that's my objective function.
Exactly.
And then I'd need all this data about, existing materials and what they're like.
Yeah, you got it.
Okay, that makes sense.
Cool.
And what's really amazing is how versatile AI is. Like AlphaGo, AlphaFold, these alpha systems, they're all using the same basic ideas to solve these huge combinatorial problems.
Yeah.
But they're working in totally different areas.
Exactly.
It makes you think, we've only just started to see what AI can really do.
We're just scratching the surface.
Oh, we've talked about AI modeling proteins, speeding up drug discovery, making weather predictions better, even like changing how we design materials. Where do you see this all going? What's next for AI in science?
Well, the article said that right now, AI systems can handle something like 20 different applications.
Yeah.
And that number is only going up.
Right.
So imagine a future where every scientist has AI as their essential tool, helping design experiments, analyze data, coming up with hypotheses way faster than we can even imagine right now.
That's incredible. It makes you wonder how, the scientific method itself changes with all this AI.
Yeah.
What are human scientists even going to do?
That's a really good question. But I think human creativity, human ingenuity, that's always going to be important.
Right.
AI can be a powerful tool, for sure.
Yeah.
But it's still up to us to ask the right questions, to figure out what the results actually mean, and to decide where science goes next.
That makes sense. Here's something to think about. We talked about digital biology, AI, cracking the code of life.
Yeah.
But what if AI could eventually help us understand consciousness itself?
Whoa.
If we can model and simulate biological systems, could we someday, simulate what it means to be conscious?
Wow, that's a really deep question. I mean, it shows just how much potential AI has, not only to change science, but to change how we understand ourselves in the universe.
Yeah, and that's what makes this so exciting. The possibilities are just endless.
They really are.
And that wraps up our deep dive for today.
See you next time.